What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series. This is episode 80. I am Matthew Blades.
And I'm Steve Petz, and here is what's coming up today.
Man, your research is good.
And I think now that I brought that up, people are like, okay, give it up.
Can we find some? Yeah.
Actor Openden. What did you do?
I turned 50 this year. I got screened.
You did. Yeah.
So.
Did you do it yourself? Absolutely.
Awesome.
Give it up for the models. Great job, ladies.
Thank you.
Fantastic
really
job.
Thank you
you
guys.
so
Thank
much.
Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you're going to make, so you deserve someone who truly cares about your journey. I'm Amy Richardson with the Savvy Realty Group and HomeSmart. Living and raising my family in Ahwatukee for nearly 20 years, this community isn't just where I work, it's my home. Growing up in the Midwest, I learned early the importance of connections and relationships. These values shape everything I do. From our initial conversation to long after you've settled into your new home, I'm here to provide ongoing support and guidance. From staging to cutting-edge marketing strategies, we expertly showcase your home to sell swiftly for the highest possible price. So if you're ready to buy or sell, please reach out to me. And remember, important decisions require savvy solutions.
At Vero Chicago Pizza Ahwatukee, we focus on quality and a great pizza experience.
With over 30 years in the business, we've perfected our craft to bring you the best. Our pizzas are made with top quality ingredients, creating rich flavors that capture the essence of Chicago-style pizza. And our family recipes like the homemade meatballs and Italian beef sandwich add a special touch to our menu. Enjoying a meal at Vero is about more than just food. It's about making memories with friends and family in a welcoming space.
Join us at Vero Chicago Pizza Ahwatukee and taste the difference for yourself.
Well, what's up, everybody? Here we are, episode number 80. We're live at Belle Lacet Lingerie
Somewhere,
in the Toque.
Somewhere we've never been before. We've been with their sister
How do you
location
mean
in
that?
Gilbert.
Yeah, I was like, we've been at their location in
not,
Gilbert.
Not this location.
First time in Ahwatukee.
Yes,
Yeah.
first time Ahwatukee location.
And what a great show we've got for you guys today, too. I mean, we are going to not only have a lingerie fashion show at the end of this experience, but we've got a doc coming in who deals with prostate cancer, and he's got a technique that's a little different than what most people are recommending. A little bit less invasive. He says it's the way people should be going, so we'll kind of see how that plays out. Our first guest is Danny Openden. And if you've ever heard of SARRC, well, then you kind of know about this guy. Danny, you are the CEO, right? President and CEO of SARRC?
That's correct.
And this experience started for you about, 12, 13 years ago you became the CEO?
Yeah, but I've been at SARRC for 19 years. I had my 19-year anniversary on February 1st. But I've been the CEO for the last 12 and a half years.
That's amazing.
Can we, again, back up? I know you guys have a history. SARRC, I love the acronym. What does SARRC stand for our audience who do not know? Can you share that with us?
Sure. Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center.
Gotcha. And how long has that been?
So this is our 29th year.
Okay.
So we're coming on almost 3 decades as an organization. And like I said, I've been there for 19 of them, which is incredible to me.
So I wanted to ask you why you got involved with this. And I was doing some reading online, and it looks like there was some pivotal encounter with autism that occurred when you were a college senior.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, my first one was as a junior. I showed up to class one morning, barely showed up to class one morning, and some graduate students from the School of Education came in to recruit undergraduate research assistants for the Autism Center on campus.
Okay.
I didn't even hear them say the word autism. Like I said, barely made it to class that day. But I heard him say education. At the time, I was interested in kids and teaching, and I thought that was my future. And I quickly returned their form, and they called me. I found out I signed up to be a data collector in a world-renowned autism center that was doing some of the most cutting-edge treatment research in the entire world. And I didn't even know what autism was, but through hours of coding video as a data collector, I watched kids who many people would have thought were hopeless just kind of transform before my eyes. And I watched these kids, and I didn't know how it was happening, but I knew that I wanted in that moment.
Yeah, and autism, to your credit, 20 years ago wasn't something that we were talking about the way that we're talking about it today.
Yeah.
It's become a lot more a part of the conversation for people that aren't clear on autism and what that means. Is there a general definition of it? Because I know that the spectrum is wide, but generally speaking, how do you explain it to folks?
Let me go to the first thing you said. So the reason we were talking about then, that time, that was the late 90s, it was 1 in 500 kids. Today we're at 1 in 31 kids that are diagnosed with autism. So there are a lot more kids on the spectrum that we're seeing, and also teens and adults with autism. But to answer your other question, to me, the easiest way to think about this is the heart of what autism is a social disorder.
Okay.
Right? And so if you think about it, then it goes into everything else. That's why a lot of kids with autism have trouble learning to speak or communicate. Not all. This is a spectrum, as you pointed out. So everybody's falling different places on the spectrum for lots of different characteristics. But the social side of it ties into speech, ties in the way you might interact with adults, especially ties in the way you might interact with peers or your other kids at your own age. And then we have these sort of what we call repetitive restricted interest. And that can be anything from kids that rock back and forth or put their finger up in front of their eyes to real like sort of obsessive interest.
Right. Or they key. I've heard that before. They key out. Is that an expression you've heard before? Maybe I'm using the wrong word, but it's kind of a thing where they do it with their hands. I've seen this before. Yeah.
So that's what you're getting at is what we would call self-stimulatory behavior.
Okay.
Right. So it's sort of an automatic reinforcement. It's like self-engaging or self-reinforcing. But at the heart of it, all of it is a social disorder. So it almost doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum, from very, very mild skills to very, very severe skills. You're going to find at the heart of that some challenge socially.
I'm going to ask you a question. Is there something that because you're in the weeds every day with this, right? You and your team. Is there some misconception out there that just irritates the bejesus out of you? Like people will say, "Oh, autism is this," and you're like, "Oh, stop saying that. It's not that. It's." Is there, or maybe there's many, but is there a couple of misconceptions out there that you could help us clear up?
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest one, especially if I'm talking to somebody new, people, from watching this, just assume right away, like, what's going on? Is it caused by vaccines? There's been over 30 studies that have shown no correlation between vaccines and autism. We're pretty comfortable as a field saying that there is no connection between vaccines and autism. That's probably the single biggest myth. Our vaccines page, which has all the facts and data and science on it, is one of the most visited pages on our website. I can imagine. Because people have those types of questions. And I think the other side of it would just be sort of like overgeneralizations, right? So we'll hear people say, well, kids with autism, they're not as, they won't connect with you as well. They won't give hugs. They're not as affectionate. Well, some, but not all. Right. You'll have others that, I heard they're all geniuses, right? They're all like, good at that sort of Rain Man. Well, there's some that've got some savant-like skills, and there's many that don't. So I think it's one of the biggest challenges. It really is a spectrum. We say all the time, if you've met one individual with autism, you've met one individual with autism.
One person, right? Yeah.
And honestly, it's the best part of our job because no two kids or teens or adults look the same. The challenge for us is to figure out what is the individualized treatment plan that's going to help this individual person grow and succeed.
I know by 2030, you want to become a statewide organization that puts services within reach for every Arizonan. What do you have to do in the next 4 or 5 years to get there?
Well, the biggest thing that we're working on right now is identifying the properties that we can be in. So our goal is to go to 9 campuses across the state. When we started this plan in 2019, we were at 3, and we are closing escrow on a 6th in Tucson in the next couple of weeks. We opened up in Mesa last year. We're really excited about our Mesa campus at Power and McKellips. And then we're in Tempe and Scottsdale and a couple in Phoenix. So the biggest things we're working on is those new locations. So the new ones are going to be West Valley is a huge need. We are dying to get out to the West Valley to help families out there. North Phoenix, North Scottsdale, and then we want a northern Arizona in either Prescott or Flagstaff.
Makes a lot of sense.
So that's a big one for us. I think the other thing is going to be how we leverage technology to reach more people, because our goal is not just the physical campuses, but how to make effective services accessible for anybody living in Arizona. Technology is going to do it. Partnerships are going to do it. We can't do this all ourselves. There's too many children, teens, and adults out there. Who are we going to work with? We'd be willing to give away our programs and services to help other people use them to then help other people with autism.
You must be wondering the same thing I am, like what happens inside a center?
Well, yeah, and how do people find you? I know even let's start before that. I've experienced it from the inside. My two of my partners, one actually had 2 kids I saw live back to back, had autistic kids. And so again, the stats are staggering, but how I know there was something a lot of parents struggle with. They don't know in the beginning. He self-admitted, he's a friend of mine. He was denying it. Both our kids were the same age. He was kind of comparing, a lot of parents do. But how do parents decide, and how do they find you or people like you to make that step to help them?
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways. So we work with pediatricians. We're always encouraging pediatricians to screen at well baby exams. So for example, we completed a 5-year National Institute of Mental Health study that lowered the average age of diagnosis in Arizona, which is nearly 5 years old, to 22 months for the kids that are in that study.
Wow.
Giving them about 3 more years of treatment, maximizing the potential of early intervention.
I would think, too, in really formative years.
That's exactly right.
Super important.
What a great deal.
We argue about lots in this field. There's lots of disagreement because we're still learning what autism really is.
Sure.
But the one thing that we all uniformly agree upon, the importance of early identification and early intervention. And so, that screening program had pediatricians screening 3 different times, at 12 months, 18 months, and 2 years. That's why we were able to catch those kids so young. I would say if you have any concerns about your child's development, seek out a screening. We offer them. You can find stuff online. We have Saturday screenings. We're all over the valley to be able to do that. But follow your gut and pursue a diagnosis. I was just talking to a dad just this week whose son is doing great now, but he said to me, I live with this sort of guilt because my wife knew something was up with our son. She kept saying to me, and I kept putting it off or avoiding it, and she goes, and it took 3 years before I finally said, okay, let's go get this looked at. And he goes, boy, do I regret that.
Yeah.
And he said, I probably regret that the rest of my life. So the reality of it is if there's something up, there's good treatments are possible. The best outcomes are associated with early identification. And that's why we've just done this new program now where we are now offering free diagnosis for families, for free diagnostic evaluations, because we want people to have access to getting a diagnosis because you can't get good care if you don't have good diagnosis. Last year we diagnosed 214 kids free, and that was a way to get us and move our mission forward so that they had access to treatments that they need.
Yeah, I got a question. This is kind of off the cuff. I just, interestingly enough, saw about 2 very young children about the same age, and I couldn't help but notice their eyes. One of them was very engaging, kind of looking in. The other one just kind of wasn't, kind of just not engaging, kind of looking through. Is there anything with that? I mean, I'm not a doctor. I just noticed that. I recognize that. Is there, again, before kids are old enough to communicate, is there something with their eyes?
There's no question, right?
Oh, okay.
A couple things that's in, again, spectrum. So you're going to have kids with good eye contact, and you're going to have kids that don't have good eye contact. But generally, take it back to that original question. At the heart of what this is a social disorder. All this information in early childhood for typical kids happens in the eyes, right? They're looking up, they're looking at their parents. All this social learning happens from looking in the eyes. Our kids, from a very young age, you'll find oftentimes are not. So there's these early eye tracking studies where we can see in babies that typically developing kids with big hand movements and everything else, the kids are looking right in the adult's eyes. Our kids tend to be looking at your shoulder, your chin, something behind your head.
Interesting.
You're missing all that social information.
Wow.
So we run a program called Milestones for really young kids, starting as young as 6 months. And if we pick up some differences that may lead into autism, a lot of what we're doing in those early time is trying to motivate kids to want to look in the direction of their parents' eyes and picking up and getting on track to learning that good social information.
So this kind of pile on Steve then. What are parents looking for? If it's the eyes can be one thing, what other kinds of cues are out there?
Absolutely. So the biggest ones are going to be speech, right? So the kids that are slow to talk, they seem to be behind. To give you an idea, we like to see single words by about 12 months of age. If we're not seeing single words, that's a red flag. Doesn't mean you have autism, but it's something you ought to pay attention to. Here's another big one that's been around for years, and that is not responding to name when called. Again, think about that social disorder.
Yeah,
so
right.
if I've got a little 2-year-old kid that has got their back to me and I call their name, 2-year-old, what? where's it coming from? They're so motivated socially. Our kids tend to not respond to that, not turn around, or I got to call them 3 or 4 times. That's a big one. How they play with other peers. Just being more motivated by people than they are by things or toys, right? Even little kids that play with toys that don't have autism, they'll be playing with a toy, but they'll look up at you and look back, kind of sharing that information like, wow, isn't that cool? Whereas kids that later go on to have autism, more often than not, are spending all of their attention focused on the objects and the toys and not the people.
That totally tracks. I have some kind of lighthearted questions that I wanted to get into toward the end of this interview, because I did read that you were an actor. You took some acting lessons, and you played in some small television roles until you were 14.
Man, your research is good.
And I think now that I brought that up, people are like, okay, give it up.
Can we find some?
Actor Openden. What did you do? What was the training?
So the background on that is my mom was a very successful casting director in Hollywood. Started at the individual shows and worked her up to being the senior casting of talent development at NBC and then the CW network.
What a gig!
So it was really cool. So as kids, my sister and I, she would find these shows for us to be on. So like, my earliest show, I was 6 months old. I was on WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, one of my favorites.
There you go. So if you remember the one where the baby was dropped off at the station for Johnny, I'm the baby. And my acting was so good that the script said it needed a little baby girl. They dressed me in pink and I sold it.
You're done. Yeah, they said
This guy's been killing it since he was 6 months old. Okay, what else?
So we did a bunch of those. We did Hill Street Blues was probably a big one.
Long time ago.
And then as I got older, I don't know, there was an old TV movie called Camp Cucamonga that we did. And my last role, you got the research right, about 14 years old, was a show called Sisters. And I played a young Mitch who was Ed Marinero. They said I looked like him at his bar mitzvah. Perfect Jewish thing for me to be able to do. My voice was still cracking. Nailed that one. I had 2 lines. Yeah. Still remember them. It was thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And then at that point, puberty had fully taken over, and my acting career was over.
That was the end of it. What was it like having a mom as a casting director? That must have been interesting. You must have had well-known people coming in and out of your life all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it quite as much, but it was great. It was great to be able to grow up with it. My mom is extraordinarily humble, so she thinks none of these actors are ever going to remember her, know anything about her.
They all love her.
They all love her. I mean, this just happened. She was the casting director on Cheers when the coach died, and she's the one that hired Woody Harrelson to be on Cheers. And I've asked her for years, like, he's going to remember that, right? It was a first major role. He'll never. He was just on a Rich Eisen show where he not only remembered her, said her name correctly twice, and described his interview at Cheers. So now I call every time my mom tries to be too humble and says they'll never remember me. I go, yeah, well, Woody Harrelson still remembers it.
Well, I bet this has really teed you up for a great career because, I mean, look, part of your role is to get out there and let people know what's going on. So, I mean, that had to have played into your public speaking skills and your ability to command a room.
I think that's absolutely correct. The acting classes I took, I was never a great actor.
Yeah.
I had nepotism with my mom. But it did get me comfortable being on stage in front of people, being able to use improv as a way to keep going. But actually, it helped me clinically with kids with autism, too. I mean, the old sort of therapy models are very sort of rigid and they're drawn out, lots of drills and practice. What we're using today is really play-based, and the best way to do it, it comes right out of improv, which is let go of your own good idea and go with the child and their motivation. We build all of our instruction around the kid's interest, and I think that's probably where it's helped the most.
Amazing, man. So good to meet this guy. Really happy that you came on the show. You got a big
Before
closer
I go,
for him?
my closing is, what advice can you give to families? Because you're working, you talk about the kids, but the families behind it. Not only autistic families, families in general. Yeah. What message can you put out to all families?
You know, the biggest one, I would put 2. For the families of kids with autism, I would say there is a tremendous amount of hope in autism, right? This is not like your life is over. In fact, there is a lot we can do. We've seen great outcomes be possible for so many children, teens, and adults at any age. There is a lot we can do. And, you know, it's one of my favorite things about being in the field is that kids with autism tend to improve with good access to therapy. So that's why I love my job and I love the work that we do. The other one that I'd say, we didn't get into this quite as much today, but one of the things I think is really special about SARRC is not just the work that we do for kids and children and teens with autism. It's what we do with the community, right? We focus on also changing the community to be more supportive and more inclusive. And that's why in 2016, PBS NewsHour came out and did a 2-part segment on SARRC and our sister nonprofit First Place, and called Phoenix the most autism-friendly city in the world.
Really?
And I would say that if whether you have autism or affected by autism or not, having people with autism help us build a more inclusive and supportive community benefits all of us. They're actually contributing to making our community better.
Amen to that.
Yes, love that.
So good. Danny, thank you so
Yes.
much for coming on our show and sharing
Great
your
job.
SARRC
Great
and,
message, too.
all of it. We'll link to SARRC in our show notes so that people can have a peek at it. What do you have to do next here? Where are you going?
I don't know. We'll see what comes
see
up
where the wind
next.
takes
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
Sounds
Something.
Yeah.
You know that.
All right. Real quick before we jump to break, I just want to say thanks to Belle Lacet Lingerie. This is where we are today filming, and they're one of our great partners. Duenas Eden Cravata, another great partner of ours. They are family law, so if that's a service that you need, I hope that you'll look them up. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about prostate cancer and figure out this treatment method that this doc is doing that he's a big believer in, and I think we'll find out why.
Can't wait to hear about this.
Yeah. Thanks. See everybody in just a minute.
For over 2 decades, Culture Infinity has believed luxury begins with how you're treated. From the moment you walk in, you're welcomed by experts who know luxury and value relationships. And our white glove service meets you the moment you arrive. Simple, friendly, and effortless. We're more than a dealership. We're part of this community, committed to giving back, supporting families, and earning your trust. Infinity's award-winning lineup, designed for families, for drivers, for those who expect more. Coulter Infinity, a dealership that cares. Come experience the difference.
Hi, I'm Kim Selchin, owner of Tutor Doctor of Ahwatukee, Chandler, and Gilbert. We understand every student is unique, which is why we meet them where they feel most at ease, whether online, at home, or in a public space. Our academic coaching is designed to help even the brightest students overcome organizational challenges, sharpen study skills, and build confidence, empowering them to achieve their best. From kindergarten to adult, we believe every student can be successful. We also have expert SAT and ACT coaches to help teens with college admissions and scholarships. I'm excited to learn how we can partner with your family to help today's learners become tomorrow's successful adults.
Welcome back. This is segment number 2 of our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series. We're live at Belle Lacet today. And for those of you who are watching, there will be a fashion show coming up in segment number 3. Just want to make sure
And you
you're
don't want,
aware of
and you
that.
do not want to miss it. This
You don't
one's
wanna
going to
miss
be,
Our next guest is Dr. Ajay Bhatnagar, and you are the founder, radiation oncologist at Prostate Cancer Institute of Arizona. And the reason that I think we're going to get into it with this guy that I like is because he's doing a treatment that is probably the best thing that can be happening for people with prostate cancer. But as he said just a moment ago, doesn't make $1 million, which is why a lot of docs try to move away from it. That's what I'm guessing anyway. So first up, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
yes.
So good to finally meet you, man.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
So glad to be here.
So let's talk about this, man. Prostate cancer is one of these. I mean, first up, how did you get into this field? What was it about medicine that made you want to be an oncologist?
That's an excellent question. I actually first studied biomedical engineering first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what would you have done with that degree?
You can do a lot of different things with that degree. I've had some friends that went into investment banking in the biotech industry. Some people went into engineering and developed devices. Some people went to PhDs and became professors. But, I enjoyed the aspect of using technology to advance care. But I really enjoyed, taking care of people. And that's where I thought, going to medical school would be the ideal option for me to be able to implement my sort of bioengineering background into delivering patient care. And no better field than radiation oncology, where I get to use, radiation therapies to help patients with cancer. In fact, when I was a third-year medical student at the University of Pittsburgh, I got to go to the operating room, and I saw these surgeons implanting these radioactive seeds in the prostate to eradicate their cancer. It was just a one-time treatment done in 30 minutes, and they were cured. And at that moment, is when I was like, I got to do this.
Right.
So I instantly decided that I wanted to be a radiation oncologist and be what we call a brachytherapist.
Brachytherapist. Yes. Okay.
The treatment is called prostate brachytherapy.
Okay.
Or simply called prostate seed implant. But that's what led me into this field. This field is obviously much larger than that. I mean, in my career, I've treated prostate cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, bone cancer, skin cancer. But now, over the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity and strong desire to solely focus on prostate cancer, specifically with this treatment that has gone away for the wrong reasons. And the mission of my practice is to revive this treatment and make it available for those men that are candidates for it.
Okay, so that kind of takes us back to where we started. You just mentioned it a moment ago. This isn't a therapy that makes doctors rich, but it is oftentimes the best therapy for them.
When you're talking about the best, I want to back up on that. The best meaning that
Well, that was
results?
my question that I was
Okay,
going to
yeah,
ask him.
go
Is
ahead.
like, what other therapies are people considering, and what makes what you do a little bit different?
So, right now, the other treatments that you can commonly hear about that are quite popular, is the robotic surgery, the proton beam therapy, that are highly expensive treatments. But the prostate seed implant is technically the most conformal radiation treatment out there because it delivers the radiation directly in the tumor and therefore has no exposure to outerlying tissues. With proton beam, it's still coming from a machine outside into the prostate, so it's still hitting other tissues. And that's why it's not as conformal as prostate seed implant. But it generates about 20 times more revenue. And therefore, it is a highly profitable and popular. And for patients, it's a common perception that, well, if it's 10 times or 20 times more expensive, it's
it
got to
must be better.
Exactly.
Must be better. But it's not.
Exactly.
Yeah. And look, what you do isn't for everybody, or is it?
Yeah, there are certain criteria
Yeah,
for it,
sure.
as it is for most treatments. But, mainly the prostate size, it needs to be appropriate size. However, there are ways to shrink down a prostate to make it an appropriate size. But yeah, you're right, there are certain categories for patient selection. And, the cancer should be localized, shouldn't be spread. But no, it is a treatment that could be, eligible for many patients. It's just that now there's very few people offering it because now it's not only that they don't want to, they don't even have the capability. They've never been trained. This isn't something that you can just learn over a weekend course. I've been learning over 20 years.
Yeah, right.
Training programs don't even offer training it anymore.
So it's going to almost like if you don't get on it, it's like a lot of people almost forget about it. Is that?
It's already forgotten.
Oh, it's already forgotten.
Oh yeah.
Because you would think somebody gets prostate cancer, they'd even think to like, hey, do you guys offer low dose, brachytherapy? Like people don't even know to ask for it.
The way that people have found out about it is if they had a family member or a friend that's had it before. I had a patient last week, and they said, I had 2 uncles with prostate cancer. I had an uncle with the seeds, and he's doing great. I had an uncle with surgery, and he's in diapers. So I want to be with my uncle with the seeds. I want to do what he did.
Interesting.
And so, and so that's how many patients are looking for it because they recall their predecessors getting this treatment, and they're wondering, wait a minute, why is it not available? It's such a great treatment.
Yeah.
And so
You're using this word great and best. Can you share some of the success rates? Are you able to talk about this?
Of course, yeah. It's been it's been widely studied. There's a lot of evidence. There's a plethora of literature and data to support that, in early stage prostate cancers is over a 97% cure rate.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah. And the main thing is that the side effect profile is minimal because it's directly implanting the tumor implanting the seed in the tumor. There's no exposure to the outer areas, the outerlying tissues, and therefore there's minimal side effects. Mainly, preservation of erectile function. This treatment has the highest preservation of erectile function. So
Is that a common thing with a lot of prostate cancer treatments? Is that you lose function?
for sure, losing your manhood is the most common fear for men with prostate cancer, which is why active surveillance, just watching, waiting, is actually not a bad option for many men because that way they can preserve their manhood. Granted, their cancer is still present, and for some men that may be okay, But for other men, especially the young, healthier one, it tends to not be okay because we know eventually they're going to need treatment. But they need to know that there are treatments that can preserve their manhood.
That's a great thing to hear for people to know about. Yeah, good
So
for
far,
you.
it doesn't sound like there's like a
There's
downside.
no downside,
Less
right?
expensive, very 90 high % success rate.
Right. Keep your
Unevasive.
function.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, is there a downside or not? Or is it just you're just up against other treatments? Is that
That's exactly it.
okay?
He's up against the shiny object.
Yeah, and there's a lot of if you're talking about more money, that means there's more money behind it.
Yeah,
It's
Exactly.
that.
And that's the motivator for so many people. I was looking at some statistics online about prostate cancer and noticed that it dipped a little bit from 2007 to 2014, but it's risen slightly through 2021, according to this article that I was reading. What do you know about where prostate cancer is right now in America?
So what happened were the screening guidelines. In the early 2000s, the United States Preventive Task Force recommended that men should not get screened for prostate cancer because it's an indolent disease, everyone's going to die of it, so there's really no reason to diagnose it. Well, guess what?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, guess what happened? There were a ton of men who got diagnosed with very late stage aggressive prostate cancer. And they had a miserable decline. And that is a miserable way to die from. Prostate cancer can spread to your bones and it can be very painful. That is not the way to go. And so the guidelines have changed. And so now the guidelines are saying that men should be offered prostate screening. They should have a discussion with their doctor to discuss the pros and cons of prostate screening and then consider it. Because we don't know whether you have an aggressive or indolent prostate cancer unless we biopsy it and see how aggressive it is. So we don't know that until we look under the microscope and see the aggressiveness. There's a Gleason score that we use to grade how aggressive these cancer cells are. And so if we don't screen you, we don't know anything. And therefore, what happened was all these late stage prostate cancer patients coming about, and why you saw that dip in the beginning because there was no one being diagnosed until it was too late. So now
Very
the
interesting.
screening guidelines have become much more appropriate. Everyone's getting screened, or at least having a discussion about that. Because maybe if you're someone in your late 80s and have a lot of medical conditions, maybe it's not worth getting it because your risk of dying from something else like diabetes or heart disease is much greater than prostate cancer. And so for that person, yeah. But now 70 is a pretty young age.
Right, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So why should he be forbidden to undergo prostate cancer screening? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So Matthew, have you gotten it? So straight out, I got on this when I was about 40. I started.
You did?
Yeah, I started getting just the normal checks, the PSA, which I want to ask a couple questions on that, because I've heard, of course, like a lot of differing opinions on that marker. But yeah, I've been getting the normal testing, prostate screening since I've been about 40, and so I go in periodically. I did get a urologist on board.
Is that who you see typically as a urologist for this?
Yeah, a primary care doctor could also help with screening.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we've monitored it, and everything's been great. There was one, and I don't know. Do you know about PSA numbers or
I don't. I don't know anything about it.
So there was my PSA started. It started a little elevated when I started, and I got to what the doctor thought was a little bit elevated in the beginning. There was a little bit of a concern. But before my situation, just talk about that PSA number, what it means. Is there a general?
Yeah. So PSA is a blood test that is a screening tool to identify who would be worthy of biopsy. Okay, it doesn't diagnose you with prostate cancer, but it gives us a tool to figure out who should we biopsy given the potential risk of this actually having prostate cancer. So the cutoff number is typically 4. Okay, so a PSA less than 4 typically don't warrant a biopsy. However, that's not true because if you jump from 1 to 3 at a young age, that's concerning. And so this number has been, this blood test has been the gold standard for helping figure out who to biopsy. And a biopsy is not an easy procedure. So guess what? we've now come up with other non-invasive tests. So we have a urine test, we have other genetic tests. We even now use a prostate MRI to help us really figure out, hey, this guy should get a biopsy. He's really at high risk for having cancer. It would be highly recommended, because that's, at this point in time, the only way to be officially diagnosed with prostate cancer is getting pieces of tissue from the prostate biopsy.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do that, because that's where almost I was on that borderline. And I did not, if you could avoid, Bob, you do not want anybody poking a perfectly fine prostate, right? If you can avoid that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fun procedure.
Yeah, it's not a fun procedure. I told them. But anyways, it was, we watched it and we monitored it. Ended up going the other route. I got the MRI done. Everything looked so crystal clear. It became where it was 99% okay. And for the 1%, there's probably almost more risks of, sometimes, like you said, diving in.
Yeah. I think exactly. So the PSA blood test is a nice starting block, and now we have additional tools to really help us figure out how to help manage this person's screening, and I think now we can be much more selective. And the MRI has been a great advancement, because if there are lesions found on that, we can now do MRI-directed biopsies, and the positivity rate with those patients is very high.
Man.
So
isn't it kind of cool to see the advancements and the different treatments? And I mean, it's good that people have choices.
Oh yeah, I mean, with the advancements in imaging and genetics with prostate cancer, it's been significantly beneficial. For men.
You're on it. Like I said, I was. Once you get a red flagged, you're probably at the age where
got your attention, right?
I told my brother, I think you should, at guys our age, you should at least get checked out. I think 40s, 50s, take a little peek, even if you feel fine.
What are the guidelines right now? 45?
Depends. So for African American, age 40.
Because I read that there's 60% more likely to develop prostate cancer.
There's a higher risk for them.
Yeah. What is that about?
Genetics.
Do you understand it's just genetics? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And there could be some also socioeconomic issues in terms of their risk of dying from prostate cancer also being higher, maybe in terms of their access to treatment. But regardless, they should definitely be screened earlier.
Okay.
And other men that have a positive family history, they should also start screening. But generally, the starting age is typically 50.
Okay.
I turned 50 this year. I got screened.
You did. Yeah. Did you do it yourself?
Another thing.
That'd be a little tough.
Another thing is the digital rectal exam. Okay, that used to be in hand with the PSA, but as we look into the studies, the positivity of the DRE isn't that high. So if that's part of the prostate screening that's scaring you from getting screened, just forgo it. Just get the blood test itself. That's better than nothing. Okay. And so it's not required that you have to get the DRE. It's not adding that much additional yield. And so, guys, a blood test, okay? If the DRE is what's scaring you from getting prostate screening, just tell them, hey, just get the blood test. That actually will suffice.
Really?
Is the DRE the traditional doctor?
Digital rectal exam.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Well,
and
exactly.
I know from chatting with you on the phone that you do this in other states too. It's not just Arizona. You want to talk about some of the other places where you can do this?
Yes. Once I started in 2022, especially after COVID, where virtual health has been blessed and progressed, I was asked to come to other regions to perform this treatment because no one else, like in Denver, performs brachytherapy. No, even in Vegas. And so now I'm able to see these patients preoperatively and postoperatively through virtual health, but then just come in for the procedure. And so that way, that has allowed me to make my practice much more efficient and allowing me to, be useful of my time and resources of seeing patients, in one space, in my house, actually, but then having to go just fly out for the procedure, which is quite convenient. And that probably wouldn't have happened without virtual health.
For sure.
Patients are actually, you'd be surprised, patients are actually very comfortable with them not seeing me in person until the day of surgery.
I'm good with my doctor not seeing him in person until I really need to be looked at and touched.
And it's easier access. I mean, a lot of times it's physically tough getting to the doctors. I'm sure it's made your life easier.
I wouldn't have been able to do this without having virtual health and being telehealth, without being able to do my pre and post-operative visits virtually.
Let's kind of wind down with some preventative measures. Are there things that you're kind of telling people? I know by the time they come to see you, it's a little bit of a different story, but knowing what you know, are there things that men can be doing to prevent or to stave off this?
For sure. We know a healthy lifestyle in terms of, consuming low-fat diet, like a Mediterranean diet, low consumption of alcohol, and high exercise, can significantly improve your either risk of getting prostate cancer, or it also improves your chances of getting cured from treatment. So patients who have prostate cancer and got treated, their chances of cure are higher when they have a much better lifestyle.
Okay.
So those are things that you can control. Right? I mean, in terms of your diet, your exercise, and so we can't control our genetics. We can't control things our environment. Things are out of our control, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately, those things have major impact on us developing cancer right now. I mean, 1 in 8 men, but we can control what our lifestyle, so that can help.
Probably one of the greatest things that I ever heard a doctor say, Dr. Hurst, who we had on our podcast, he said, or maybe it wasn't even him that had originally said it, he said, genetics loads the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. And I think that's kind of what you're saying. It's like, yes, genetically speaking, there could be some things, but your lifestyle also has a huge impact on this.
That's an excellent say. I'm going to steal that quote.
Steal it.
I'm going to steal that.
That's so good.
All. Yeah,
You know,
that's great.
you know what I want to steal? You mentioned like the diet. Can you share with me, the audience, Matthew, maybe some good food, some good
Yeah. Let's go into
good
it.
natural foods.
So first of all, actually, in prostate cancer, they've noticed that lycopenes, actually, in tomatoes are high in lycopenes.
Okay.
Actually, can help prevent the risk of prostate
Interesting.
cancer. But what they want to have is like a diet in white meat, like low fat diet. So they want to have good sources of protein but low fat. So
Got it.
Turkey.
Yes, turkey,
Chicken,
fish,
fish.
green vegetables. Okay,
All good for
staying
the
away
prostate.
staying away from processed carbohydrates.
I heard pumpkin seeds too.
Yeah, and red meat. We want to.
It's just because you eat them. You want that to be true.
And also, so red meat is always like this,
Yeah.
villain. But low fat red meat isn't bad.
Sure.
So it's the high fat.
It's
red
just
meat.
eating it every day.
Yes. But the fillet, lean red meat isn't necessarily, or even lamb, bison. But actually, those are actually very good sources of red meat. It's just having a ribeye steak every day is not ideal.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe once a week. Not even
Yeah,
that.
maybe
It's
once a week.
Yeah, but
Maybe we close up with just sort of a misconception that's out there that you'd like to address, something that you hear from your patients all the time. Well, doc, I heard this, or I heard this. I mean, is there one or two things that you hear all the time and you're like, guys, it's just not true?
yeah. Well, first of all, prostate cancer is not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Yes.
Okay? There are multiple different options, and men should know about all of them. Okay? They should go and seek that second opinion. See, sometimes they're often scared. They don't want to, cheat on their doctor. But they should feel like they need to be their best advocate and learn about everything.
Amen.
Because this is their health.
Right.
This is the most decision that they are going to make when it comes to their prostate cancer treatment. So, knowledge is power.
Yes. Okay.
Especially there's other options. I mean, hey,
Yeah, and the most expensive treatment isn't always the best treatment.
That's it. I mean, it sounds like
To me,
the
it's the one that
seeds-
works.
it's
I
the
mean,
one
I don't
that
know if
works.
that sounds logical.
And the least invasive, and
Yes.
keeps me healthy and doing
In
the things I want to do as a guy.
All things you say.
Right.
I love it.
Well, Doc, thank you so
Great.
much for
Yes.
coming by and helping us understand this today.
Thank you so much.
Amazing
I had a
message.
blast.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, and this is so good because to me, it's one of those things that a lot of people deal with. A lot of people think about it over the course of their life, but they aren't aware of his treatment. And it's one of the first things that when I met him on a call a few months ago, I was like, why aren't people louder about this? And that's why I wanted to have you on. It's like, we need to amplify this message.
I greatly appreciate that. I think the women are much better at getting
sure.
at talking and being advocates of their health. I think men are tend to be shy and don't like to disclose
Right.
things, and therefore having audiences like this and me to amplify this voice and advocate for men's health.
Yes.
This is a big deal. So thank you
Beautiful.
guys for
Yeah,
doing this.
and obviously we're going to turn it over. We're going to talk about. We're here at a lingerie shop. We were talking about how women really at a young age they're very aware of their breasts. They're doing the mammograms. If men were as aware of their prostate as women are of their breast and breast cancer, we'd probably be saving a lot of guys' lives, right?
Completely.
No, good
That's
stuff.
simple.
All right. Well, Doc, thanks again for dropping by. Really appreciate your time. We're going to link to his services in our show notes so that you guys can get connected. And when we come back, it's the moment
ready.
I think a lot of people have been kind of tuning in for.
It's a wrap.
We're
a
gonna
wrap up for
we're gonna
sure.
get Karla on the show, and she owns and operates Belle Lacet, and we are in for a treat. We've got a welcome to stick around. We've got a lingerie fashion show happening next. So hang tight. We'll see you guys in just a minute.
Divorce is never easy. It's emotional, uncertain, and deeply personal. That's why at Dueñas Eden Crevata, we start by listening.
Unlike large firms, we specifically limit our case size, so your case never gets lost. We guide you through divorce, custody, and property division with clarity and care. Some lawyers equate aggression with success. We know better. We lead with compassion, integrity, and unwavering advocacy, because protecting families requires more than a courtroom fight.
At Dueñas Eden Crevata, we're more than attorneys. We're your partners for tomorrow.
What makes Belle Lacet Lingerie so unique? For starters, check out the vast selection and size range. Cups from A to K in styles like balcony, plunge, wireless, strapless, and more, including mastectomy and maternity bras. With superior customer service and free professional fittings, it's the go-to bra shop in the East Valley. Locally owned, with 2 locations in Ahwatukee and Gilbert. Check out our glowing reviews on Google and Yelp. Visit BelleLacetLingerie.com to learn more.
Well, welcome back. This is segment number 3 of our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series, and you're in for a treat today if you settle in, because we've got ourselves a Belle Lacet Lingerie fashion show today.
Round 2, and welcome back, Karla. If you recognize Karla,
of course we do.
MC'd the first one, so.
Well, the last
Love
one was
having
so
her back.
fun. Like, I learned so much about the design and where things are in the lingerie industry, and just all of it. I found it very kind of interesting and educational. Like, what's out there, what people are buying, like, what are people into, you know?
Right. Well, women are still into getting a good lift, and we want to make sure that they're fitted correctly so they get that proper lift and they feel confident.
Yeah. Now, that is the thing about Belle Lacet that I think is the point of differentiation. Like, you guys are, like, you're consumed with the right fit.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes a whole difference in your appearance and how you feel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I also want to mention Belle Lacet has been a sponsor and a partner of the Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series, just like Amy Richardson and Vero Pizza and Coulter Infinity and Tutor Doctor and Brewer, AC
Now
and
Brewer,
Heating. I
yes.
know. And so thank you guys so much for kind of getting what we're doing here.
And so let me go off that. From our last fashion show, it was amazing to see the models in the show. You're still seeing them nearly a year later on social media. Some of those highlight clips were amazing. The women did beautiful. They had beautiful outfits. I can't wait to see.
Turns out people like to look at girls in lingerie.
I can't understand it because women are beautiful.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they absolutely.
And that's the thing. Like, women want to look at it, men want to look at it. Right.
Yeah, these the women you have picked out today, their personalities. I can't wait to see. We just saw them kind of warming up, so the crowd's not going to be disappointed.
No,
what are some of the like, we're recording this episode a couple of days before Valentine's Day. What are people scooping up for Valentine's Day for fun and spice?
Well, what we call the 5-minute wear.
The 5-minute wear. I learned that the last time we were together.
They like the baby dolls, the chemises, the body suits, some of the body art type stuff, the pasties and things like that.
And we're going to see some of that today.
Not the pasties, but the other stuff. Yes.
The other stuff we will. Sarah and Haley and Judith are all going to be coming out here momentarily. For the most part, what are they going to be wearing?
They're all going to come out with some baby dolls and bodysuits, but we're also going to show you some of what we call everyday wear bras.
Oh, right on.
Very popular ones.
All right. Yeah, any new trends? I mean, before we get started, anything new?
Nothing really new. I mean, more and more women are looking for non-wire, soft cup bras.
Interesting.
But they don't give the same kind of lift, but we do carry them.
Okay.
Got it all.
Brands like Oh La La, Parfait, you mentioned.
Right. Fitfully Yours.
Fitfully Yours.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, look, I say let's crank up the music and let's get this fashion
let's get it
show
started. I mean,
right?
listen, let's show.
Give the people what they came for.
Show them what they.
And for those that have not been to Belle Lacet before, I encourage you to come in, man or woman. Come in and do some shopping. They have got such a great selection.
We
here.
are at the Ahwatukee location, but
we are at the Ahwatukee location today, but we also have a location in Gilbert.
All right, so up first
is
Sarah
with
an H.
and a beautiful blue teal baby doll.
Oh,
open
yeah,
front.
Sarah. Woo.
Yes.
Oh, she's got red highlights going on there.
Yeah.
I just not, she got in the light. I noticed that. And look at those shoes. Did we get a shot of those shoes, by the way?
I hope
I
we
know
did.
they're not part of the lingerie deal, but they look great. Awesome. And this is Judith.
This is Judith and an Ooh La La baby doll.
Ooh la la.
Ooh La La baby doll. It gives a nice lift because it has that little band underneath there.
Well, I like the pink flowers.
She wears it
Pink
well.
flowers, yes.
Shoes optional, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay. And finally, Haley here.
Haley
with
has
the,
this-
the great art on her right arm or left arm.
Yes, this is a beautiful Montel purple baby doll. It has a built-in shelf in there, so it also provides a nice little lift. Looks wonderful on any woman.
And then what is the the use for that? Is that 5-minute wear?
It's 5-minute wear, but every night you can
Every
wear
night.
that. Yeah,
because
you
it
could.
does look cozy to
Yes,
sleep in or something
absolutely.
like that. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
yes, absolutely.
Okay. So they're going to get changed, and we're going to get some new outfits in here. You have a lot of bras, I notice, at Belle Lacet.
Oh, we have lots.
You have
yeah.
a lot of
We have
bras.
a
What
lot
are
of
the,
bras.
what are the sizes? I know we talked about that before.
We carry bras from what A to K, what is the UKK, which is a USO. And so we cater to a lot of different sizes up to the 50 band.
And that's probably important because that's not the case everywhere.
No, most places stop at a double D, 38 double D.
I know this is a terrible comparison, but like I get frustrated as a tall man when I go shopping because all the pants are either inseam 30 or inseam 32, and I need a 34, and so I get kicked out of a lot of stores just because they don't carry my size.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Imagine
exactly.
tall guys, again, tall guys having problems. Come on, from a short guy. Women that are busty having a problem. I don't think you guys have any problems. I think you got to find the right place to shop.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying it can be
Yes.
frustrating, and so I appreciate what they're doing. All right, Sarah's back out now, and what do you got going on?
This
here?
is another Ooh La La Cherie baby doll with the embroidery flowers
Look
in
at
front.
Sarah's
and
personality
yes,
come out.
a
She's
great
amazing. Look at that.
I just love all the detail on some of these things,
Yes.
like the way that they embroider some of that stuff in there. It grabs your eye.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, Judith, step right up. This is that's a gorgeous color.
Isn't
Yeah,
that gorgeous?
beautiful.
That's Curvy
Really
Kate.
super
chemise.
classy.
Very nice. It stretches. It fits awesomely. Yes.
It
Gorgeous.
could almost be like a dress to a
It
club.
could. It actually
Yes.
could.
Right?
Yes.
Like you could.
Yeah.
I could see some girls in Tempe kind of rocking that out at the nightclubs.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, and then here is Haley.
with a beautiful bodysuit.
Oh, now we got a leg tattoo that we get to roll.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Didn't
And
see
I
that earlier.
love this bodysuit.
Oh,
It's
that's
called the
great.
Valentine. It's awesome.
For Valentine's
For
Day.
Valentine's. It all comes in red also. Yes,
Okay.
it's nice. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then, one of the things that I always wonder about lingerie is I'm sure people get hung up on their body types and what will look good on me and what will be flattering for me. Do you guys help out with that too?
Yes, we do. We make sure we go to vendors that'll fit best for your body type.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
that's such a good thing. So who's coming out next? Probably Sarah is
Yeah,
going to be
Sarah.
rocking out our
Yeah,
our
I mean
next outfit.
they changed fairly quick last time.
Well, there's
so
not
I mean,
a lot to change in and out
yeah,
of,
no,
is there?
Well, it does take time.
Yeah, right. You got to get
They-
it situated and make sure it all
Yeah.
looks the way you want it to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they did
all
well.
the things.
So let's talk about Ahwatukee, Gilbert. Anything going on in the Gilbert location? What's new in Gilbert since we're
We do carry pretty much the same things
Okay.
in both locations to ensure that we can accommodate the different sizes. I will say our prices in Gilbert may be a little bit more escalated because of the vendors out there are a little
Okay.
bit pricey.
Oh,
but,
interesting.
yeah.
You carry a couple of different vendors out there in
Yes,
that area? Great.
yeah.
All right, here we go. Sarah is back for more.
Sarah's back
Yes.
and
We got a beautiful bra there, a Montel bra.
Montel.
Montel.
Okay. What makes a Montel bra special?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Montel, that's Parfait.
Parfait.
Parfait. It's a nice
Parfait.
cut and sewn bra. It will fit and stretch according to your shape. It does a really awesome lift. And as you can see, the straps are in, so it will make sure that if your shoulders slope, it won't slide off your
Oh,
shoulders.
okay. Is it comfortable, the bra? Is it a comfortable bra? Okay.
you moved
Sounds
around
good.
really well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Judith, stepping out, looking classy again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Judith has this wonderful
She's-
curvy Kate bodysuit. It also can be strapless. You can wear it under your clothes or out
Very
as a blouse.
glamorous.
Yeah.
Judith, glamour.
You can wear that a bunch of different ways, can't you?
Yes, you can wear
How
that.
do you see people wearing that outfit?
Well, you can wear it, as I said, strapless, and you can also put a blazer with it and just go out with it.
Oh, that's a great idea. A pair of jeans or something like
Exactly.
that. Okay.
And look at that stunning blue.
Isn't that a gorgeous blue?
Great blue.
Wow.
That's a Montel lace bra. It's nice for those women who are especially shallow on top because it molds to the woman better, gives a nice lift.
Well, there's
Yeah,
like a little
and
pendant here.
a
in the
little
middle.
jewel in front, and it's plungy for your low-cut blouses. Yeah.
Outstanding.
Very nice.
And all of this stuff is available right here at Belle Lacet. Come on in,
Exactly.
try it out for yourself. This is great. Do you think the models are having fun? Do they enjoy this part?
I think they do. Yeah.
Do they get to take home their
Yeah, I heard they
favorite?
give you a little gift. That's super nice of
Yes.
you.
Well, they do this lovely show for me,
Yeah.
so I can do something for them.
The least we
Yes.
can do is give them an
Yeah.
outfit to go home in and for their 5-minute wear. That was probably my biggest takeaway from our last podcast was that you actually call it 5-minute wear.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah,
That's what it
right.
is.
That's what it
Definitely.
is. All right, here we go. Sarah is back.
Sarah's back.
Now
and
she's in it. That's
ready for action.
We have
What is this
another
color?
ooh la la. It's a top and bottom. Very cute
It's
outfit.
interesting. It's not boy shorts, but it's like
Well, it's a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
boy shorty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little lifted back end there. Yeah. Very cute.
Very
I do
nice.
like the way
Very
that looks.
nice.
Yeah,
What is that
very-
color? It's like an electric
Like a
I
sapphire blue.
love the
Sapphire.
blues. I love the
Sapphire
blues.
blue. Yeah.
sapphire
do.
blue. That's great. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube right now, we just say thanks a lot for being a part of this experience. And if you
Yeah.
want to come into Belle Lacet and pick your own little 5-minute wear out,
Yeah.
we welcome you to come in.
Perfect
But that's
for
the thing.
Valentine's.
Yes, it is kind of perfect, but it's also everyday wear here. That's the thing I
Yes,
want to impress upon
everyday
people.
wear.
This
We
isn't
have-
just the hottie toddy outfit. This
No,
is
we're
like
showing a lot of that right now because of Valentine's and the holidays.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of everyday wear. Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
All right,
All
we're
right,
gonna,
here we go. Bring it on out. This is Haley once again.
that's okay. We can do it a little out of order. That's perfect.
This is another parfait bra. Different cuts. You can see
And the diamonds in the middle.
diamond in the middle.
Again, I
And
like
they
the details.
crisscrosses in the back if you need be.
So
for a
why
different
would
kind.
people
Well
want a
done.
crisscross bra?
Well done.
A lot of
Haley.
different reasons, either for the outfit that they're wearing or because it actually provides a little bit more support and uplift.
Oh, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. All right, Judith, come on down.
Let's do it, Judith.
Yeah.
This is it. She's
And
got
this
her
is a
shorts on.
beautiful cut and sewn by Parfait.
Hmm.
Really nice cut and sewn. You can see it has 4 parts, so it brings you in, lifts you up. Again, the straps are come in the back, so you don't have to worry about it falling off your shoulders.
Yeah,
And you can
awesome.
see it gives an awesome lift. Yeah.
That's great. Are more and more women wearing kind of the boy shorts like that? Because they look
Yes.
like they're 1,000 times more comfortable than a piece
They
of.
are, but the women still like the thongs because
Yeah.
you don't see the padding lines.
What was that called? Would you call those just basically like span?
Like boy shorts.
Boy shorts.
Boy
Yeah.
shorts?
Boy shorts.
Yeah, right. All right, here
Oh,
comes
another
Sarah one more time.
Awesome blue
Another
body
I mean, the blues
shimmering
are
blue.
amazing.
Blues are very popular. This is a nice blue
This one is very,
bodysuit
very
by Ooh La La again. Very fun.
interesting.
And I like kind of this ribbon cut on both the top and the bottom. Right?
Yeah. It kind of gives a nice like waistline effect going there.
Oh, and the back is the same kind of style.
Yeah. Very
And
fun.
like 3 straps going across, and it looks like that thong piece coming
Yes.
all the way up. Like
And
the details.
Yeah, and
The
Sarah and I
details.
talked about this, and she said, if you wear pasties and a blazer, it'd be great for going out clubbing.
It would be a good clubbing. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. No shortage of attention.
Yeah,
if you're
I was
something
gonna
like
say.
that, right?
Not at all.
Yeah, you will get folks' attention if you got something like that on. But I think, and let's talk about that for a second. Like lingerie isn't so much about getting attention. It's about the woman feeling really confident in what she's wearing.
Yeah, and self-assured. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
Because look at what that does to a woman when they feel so good in what they're wearing.
well,
It's
they
like
stand up better and everything. Yeah.
Men too, but I
Yeah.
mean, especially women.
Yes.
Okay, welcome back. Here
Yes.
we're going. Here we go.
Judith, ready to roll
Judith,
again.
and this is a wireless bra. There's no wire in this, but you can see it provides a nice lift. It's all cotton. Again, it's a Parfait. Great price point. It's only like $58.
You
I
look
like
like
the stitching here.
And you can see it's a wide band in the back, so it has that nice back smoothing effect. It's an awesome bra.
that almost looks like you can go out with that almost.
Yeah, and
I
we
mean,
do
really,
we sell a
seriously.
lot of these bras.
It's
Yes.
very tasteful, classy.
Yeah.
I want to mention
Snap
this
it
just
up.
for people that haven't been into a location yet. But I mean, big fitting rooms, lots of space to walk around, look at yourself, mirrors, and then people who care and are kind of invested too. It's a nice atmosphere to pick out your your
Well,
clothes.
we want you to make sure you're fitted correctly, but you're also comfortable in what you wear.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
also local. Everybody, it's a local
Right.
establishment in the community. That's what everybody's looking for. Everybody wants to honor. And so, I mean, instead of going, online or to the big box shops, come right here, right in your
And I
right
will
in your
tell you,
neighborhood.
we do have women who buy online because we do have a website where you can order. But I will tell you, many of the bras that are bought online are returned because, again, they don't get the fit. And every vendor will fit you differently.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that you get the right fit. And if you have any questions, you can always call, and we'll have a conversation with you over the phone to make sure that you understand how the bra will fit and what you would need for your type.
Well, and for those that don't know much about Ahwatukee, we're kind of right on Ray Road in 48th, next to Mountainside Fitness, Target's across the street. That just gives people an idea of where we are located.
People coming in town right off the highway,
Right,
Yeah,
right
it's
off the
easy
I-10.
access.
Easy
Well, so is the
access.
one in Gilbert, right?
Yeah.
Quite frankly, for people
great
out there. That's a
locations.
great center
nice
out there.
locations, yes.
All right. We are waiting on our fourth change. Do you bring in, are the creators of the lingerie local people at all, or?
Well, many of the, no.
Okay.
We have a lot of vendors overseas, but we've also trying to get more local, or what I call state-bound vendors, and Parfait is one state-bound vendor.
Parfait is state-bound.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. That's good to know. We should support that.
Oh, okay, and here is
Judith,
Judith.
this is a different top.
This is another Parfait bra
Come on
that
out,
you can.
Judith,
This
come
is
on out.
come on out. This is an awesome t-shirt bra. One of our most popular t-shirt bras. Again, it's a plunge bra, but it gives you what I call the vavoom look. 'cause
What's
it
a,
brings
what did you say it was?
a t-shirt bra.
Oh.
And you
Is
can
that
see
just because of the material that they
because of the
use?
material,
Oh.
you won't see any of the lines in your shirt when you're. So.
That's nice.
And you don't see the lace either. It's just kind of an added effect to the bra.
All right. Haley, we got one last outfit from
waiting
you.
for-
Or are you all done too? That's it.
That's it.
Well, let's bring them all three
Let's bring them all out.
together
Come on, let's say.
and, just kind of one last little. Absolutely. Give it up for the models. Great job, ladies.
Thank you.
Fantastic job. Thank you
guys
so
for
much.
Really appreciate
This is
it. And thank
awesome.
you guys for
Yeah,
having
thank
us here
you.
to do this.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So open most days of the week.
We're
That
open
end with
every
Y?
day, Monday through Sunday. We Monday through Friday we're open 11 to 6.
Okay.
Saturday we're open 10 to 6, and Sunday 12 to 5.
Do you deal with much with men who come in? They're like, I'd like something for my wife. She's about your size. I always imagine that.
We get some of that, and we also, when women do come in and get fitted, we make sure we have their file created in the system. And then if their husband comes in, my wife shops with you. Do you have her size? Yes. And then I also look up her record, and we'll be able to tell their husband what they like or what they don't like. And
Because I'm thinking about a killer couples experience where the husband and wife or the boyfriend and the girlfriend come in together and they sort of pick out this stuff together. I just think it would be so fun.
We do have a few of those too.
Right.
Yes.
Like, try it on, babe. I want to see what you look like in it.
Get the wifey over here, man. Give
I
it
know,
a
that's
shot.
what I'm thinking.
Do
That's
it.
exactly what I'm thinking.
You
It would
start,
be so
you start
cool.
the trend.
And it's like, it's a little hot, right? So it kind of serves as, it revs up the night a little bit.
Dual purpose,
Yeah,
yes,
it's dual purpose.
yes,
Gets
that's
everybody's engine going, and,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
Yeah. What a show, though. I mean,
Amazing.
people doing amazing things with
Autism.
prostate cancer,
and then the lingerie.
I mean,
This is the beauty of Move the Needle.
I know.
It is all over the place in the best way.
Probably one of the best entertaining shows that you could put together. Those three
Because
options.
they're both really interesting. Well, you
Yes,
said you
very
lost your grandfather to prostate
I
cancer.
did, and
yeah.
it's just very informative. And
Right.
Yeah, you can relate.
And
Absolutely.
autism, the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're just learning about it right now.
Almost
and
everybody has a friend or family that
I
has a
guarantee
child.
everybody knows
that has
somebody
somebody.
who knows somebody.
Right.
That
Exactly.
is dealing with it
Exactly.
right now.
Exactly.
Well, you mentioned it. What a great show. And
Yes.
thanks again, Karla.
No,
for
thank
having us
you,
out here.
thank you.
Sam,
Yeah, for your
thank you so
partnership.
much for doing
Great
this.
partners.
It's amazing. We'll just go down the list one more time. But Duane Eden Cravata, Tutor Doctor, Coulter Infinity, Vero Pizza, Amy Richardson, Brewer, Aaron Heating. It's going to take me a minute to get in.
Air conditioning in here.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm just
fill
going to
in.
call them Brewers.
I'll
That's all
fill in.
anybody calls
Everyone
them
knows
anyways.
them Brewers, right?
And then, of course, Belle Lacet Lingerie.
Yes, Belle
So,
Lacet.
amazing show. Thank you guys so
Thank
much
you.
for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you next week
Next
here
week.
on our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series. See you, Steve.
See you.